welcome to the show. Again, we thank God you can watch D.A.P Ministries Presents. I'm your host, the Reverend Willie Williams, Jr., and we're excited to bring you this presentation. We always say to those that view the show, you need to go to the Lower Ninth Ward and see the devastation, but also see the restoration that the Lord will bring. We're thankful for the volunteers that have committed every year since Katrina coming back. We want to applaud a team effort that made another commitment this year to come back, and this month they're coming, and they're coming to not only do our citizens' homes but also some of our houses of worship. So we thank God for them and continually striving with us with the rebuild. Again, there's a lot of activity going on. Remember, school is out, so be careful with our young people that are walking the streets. There are activities that they can get involved with, but we want to thank God again for our co-host, the Reverend Darrell Smith, also known as D.K. Smith, 940 AM on your radio dial, radio personality, and he has a saying that goes like this.
Well, from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m., I'll take you home in style with a smile.
And I also applaud him for the effort that he does. Not only does he have a local flavor, but he also has a national and even a global flavor. Tell us how you have that global flavor,
well,
national. Everybody know about you.
Everybody knows about me online, at least in the digital world, online. You can see this and other shows of D.A.P Ministries TV show by going to YouTube and using the search engine D.A.P, D.A.P Ministries TV show. And you'll find this and many others. In fact, looking back, I was looking over some the other day, some of the shows that we had and everything, like William Allen, the poet. We had the artist just recently, Lisa Reed. And so more of the recent ones and some of the older ones. So we're still adding shows as we come along. Now, last week, I want to say thank you for allowing me to host the show, and Sister Jennifer was the co-host, at one time host in a sense, but thank you for the opportunity. But one thing I neglected to say on last week, and I will make up for it this week.
What's that?
Well, just to remind everyone that last week, June 1st, was the beginning of hurricane season.
That's right.
So if you have not prepared a plan, it's not too late. Don't be complacent. Don't think that nothing's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen.
Prepare for the worst.
Prepare for the worst, yeah.
But always hope for the best.
Always hope for the best.
Now, I know you have an announcement.
Yeah, well, I also want to make mention of the Milan Focus Group. That's the neighborhood association that I'm the co-chairperson of. We're going to have a Speak Out Against Crime event, and we call it the Summer Speak Out Against Crime because we're going to try to have it at least 2 or 3 times a year. So we'll have a fall Speak Out Against Crime. And this one is coming up on Saturday, June the 21st, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., just 2 hours. It's going to be at the corner of Fusher and South Saratoga Street. That's down the street from the Atkinson Stern Tennis Center, where we usually meet on Wednesdays, second Wednesdays of the month. But we'll have Ms. LaToya Cantrell, the councilperson, District B. She'll be there. Also, Lionel Coleman, he's with the Police Community Advisory Board, otherwise known as PCAP, and also the director of the ceasefire as well. Representative from the New Orleans Police Department. We're hoping that Sergeant Jenkins will be there. If not, Commander Brady. He'll be there. Also, speaking of Mr. William Allen, we'll have spoken word by Mr. William Allen, so he'll be on program for that as well. So we ask that you come out that Saturday for 2 hours from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, and it's just a way for everyone to get their voices heard. My philosophy is this: criminals will get away with what they think they can get away with. But if you don't speak up, if you don't let your voice be made whole, be made known, and if you don't say something, people just still try to take advantage of you. And so what we're trying to do is just like I used the illustration about the light when you go into the kitchen, well, maybe not your kitchen, but you turn the light on, you see them roaches, roaches scatter when they see that light, you know. So I heard.
Apparently don't happen at your house neither.
So I heard, yeah. But anyway, if you turn on the light, those roaches scatter. But we want to turn on the light.
Keep the light bright.
Keep the light bright and let everyone know. And let the criminals know, because see, the thing about it is, and I'm very compassionate on this, I'm very passionate the fact that criminals, again, think they can get away with something up until the point where they know that, hey, this neighborhood, they're serious. They're serious and everything. So it's just a matter of really speaking up, speaking out, and letting your voice be be made known. So
Okay.
that's what we're looking forward to. You want to introduce our guests?
No, I'm gonna let you introduce us. Two lawyers, Jeffrey and John.
Yeah, okay. And how y'all doing?
Great. How you doing?
And I think I understand you're going to talk about estate planning.
Yes, we
That's
are.
correct.
Now, I have a good question right off the bat. Who and what is estate planning? In other words, who can get it, who's it for, and why do they get it?
In other words, how does it work?
How does it work? Yeah.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for the opportunity. John and I are appreciative of the fact that you're giving us an opportunity to discuss an integral part of estate planning. That integral part is called a revocable living trust. As far as estate planning, it's available to everyone. It's an important item that everyone should be thinking about now as opposed to later in life.
Mm-hmm.
Make preparations now so that you can avoid any kind of aggravation later, not only for yourself but also for your loved ones. The revocable living trust, again, is an integral part of a successful estate plan. When people think about any kind of estate plan, most people think, first of all, of drafting a will. Now, the process of, again, of drafting a will, what we're going to do is just give you a short overview. We have a seminar coming up the 11th of June, which is next Wednesday, and we'll go into, a complete overview of the situation. We're just going to give just the highlights at this moment. Most people would draft a will, and basically they would go through a process called probate, of which in Louisiana we call it succession. It's a court-supervised proceeding whereby the court administers the distribution of assets to heirs, beneficiaries, and/or creditors. This process basically starts once the agreement is drafted by an attorney. Once it's submitted to the court, then the process begins. What most people, lay people, don't understand is once that will is submitted for succession purposes, I can go online and determine what assets you had or the decedent had. In addition to this, every so-called telemarketer across the country, from Nevada to California to New York, will have privy to that information. So don't be surprised you're sitting at dinner one night at 6:30 in the evening with your family, and all of a sudden you're bombarded with calls from all types of people, unknown entities that are inquiring as to whether or not you want to make an investment in property in Florida, or you want to buy an additional annuity. And you're saying to yourself, oh, how would they know Uncle Joe died? And again, all of this information is basically available to the public.
John, is there any way that can be prevented, as far as, because it seems like it's an open disclosure of information that maybe you want to keep private, but because of is it a state entity or is it nationally? Does it work nationally like
When you
this?
open a succession, if you have a will or if you die without a will, doesn't matter. You have assets. Secession has to be opened. Other states call it probate, but it means the same thing. Louisiana, we call it a succession. Certain documents have to be filed with the court, and all this information, all the documents are public record. One of those documents is a list of all the assets and liabilities that individual had. So therefore, it's public, and anyone can look it up. And most individuals, we found after they realized this, would certainly prefer to keep this information private. It's their private family matters, and they would prefer to keep them private. And the only way to do that is to not go through a succession, and that's why we recommend the revocable trust instead of a will, to bypass the succession process.
Okay, and in addition to that, you're looking at a situation, again, underlining the words court-supervised proceeding. So basically, you're at the mercy of the court to determine how fast this proceeding will proceed. So again, you have a file on the desk of the court. You have another file. Is there a sense of urgency either by counsel who represents you or the court itself to move this along in a quick manner? I mean, with few exceptions, generally, just even a simple succession is going to take a minimum of 6 weeks, 7 weeks to a few months. So you're looking at a situation, until those issues are resolved, you won't see anything coming your way as far as a beneficiary. Now, so again, there's the timing issue of drafting a will and going through what we call the nightmare of probate. Number two, again, the privacy issue, of which I'm sure in this day and age, most people want to make sure their information is kept private. I mean, they're not interested in having unknown third parties investigate what they have or be bothersome or sending you correspondence to make inquiries as to whether or not you have, enough investments. And certainly people that you have no clue who they are or where they're coming from or what their intentions are. We also look at a situation of going through probate where, again, it is lengthy. You also have to hire an attorney. And it's sort of laughable. A lot of people see on the screen where Mr. Shapiro, who represented O.J., has LegalZoom and says for under $100 you can get a will. They neglect to tell you what formalities there are in order to take care of the will. Number two, they neglect to tell you also have to hire counsel to take you through the succession process. So people think, they're getting banged for the buck because they're paying nothing on the front end. Well, again, you're going to go through the same process you'd go as if you drafted the will through an attorney and then go through the succession process and wait for the distributions. I think what's important also is you're thinking of the timing aspect, you're thinking of the privacy aspect, you're also thinking of the expenses. You're going through the court proceeding, there are a lot of fees with the courts. So you have to think of any kind of determination of how much it's going to cost not only for the court, how much it costs for your attorney, either working hourly or on a percentage basis, that will be coming out of the estate that your hard-earned loved ones built up in order to, with the intention of distributing the assets to you, not to the lawyer or to the court. So that's a consideration also. Most people, like I say, they have no idea, of how to proceed. We want to enlighten them that, again, there are alternatives to this particular process, of going through probate. If you think about, the process itself, you have to be thinking, well, is there an alternative available?
I got to stop you right there because we're going to go to a break and we're going to talk about that alternative when we come back after break, because the important thing about it is some people are not aware about having a will, estate planning, and a whole lot of other things that probably could less complicate their lives. And having this information, and definitely the second half of the show, we want you to give the location of the seminar, free seminar, if you have a website or a telephone number. We're going to go to break. We're going to come back and talk to Jeffrey and John in a few minutes, but stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Poor nutrition today will increase Sarah's chances of anemia, add to her healthcare costs, sick days, even stunt her ability to learn. And the thing is, Sarah's not even born yet. Get proper nutrition before it's too late. Call or visit WIC. WIC provides nutrition information, healthcare referrals, even food. Your child has you, and you have WIC.
Mrs. Johnson, good to see you again. This is Mike. You can trust him. He looks just like you. Plus, 2 against 1 is more intimidating when we force someone to sign a loan.
And I'll be sucking up to you in order to keep up the illusion.
So, here are your low monthly payments and interest rate as we promised. Here's where they triple. The rest of this stuff, don't think a lawyer can read this. It protects us. Make sure we get your home when you can't pay us back.
Such a lovely house.
Yeah. But don't worry. We're going to sell you credit life insurance. You don't really need it, but
Puts lots of cash in our pockets.
you look nervous. We better hurry and get you to sign. Or I'll pretend to ruin your credit with one phone call.
Predatory lenders are never this easy to spot. Call us and protect yourself with the facts.